Good morning. It is August 20th, 2025. I am the CEO and founder of Digital Deep Dive Corporation, which is a nonprofit organization that is focused on educating the community and for community awareness of things like digital human trafficking, sex trafficking, physical, augmented reality, nanotechnology misuses, illegal activity in our communities that is pertaining to false information on our shared information networks that are used by our law enforcement and public safety. Also, Havana syndrome, directed energy weapons, and so on and so forth. So, I am the CEO, and the reason that I created this was because of one of my own situations where I am being targeted. So, this is also, we are also educating about targeted violence and domestic terrorism. For example, in my particular case, I found out that I am being targeted and continuously harassed, community doxxed. People are paying to do this, to pay people to lie about me, create false information, claiming I'm a prostitute, I'm mentally ill, I'm violent, I have addiction problems. And they created this to destroy my employment so I couldn't work, basically to make me disappear. So if I can't have employment, somebody else can use my identity. I actually have an open federal investigation right now. Initially, it was pertaining to being gang raped in July 16th, 2025, this year. I was gang raped by 4 gentlemen. I actually was able to use public networks like Google search, how sad is that, to find out who these people were, these perpetrators, and also find out that I was put in a sex racket, and I was not just gang raped that time, but I was raped multiple times through the year because they were putting me in a sex traffic racket. And the reason they did this was because they were paid to by my cousin, who is of German descent. I supposedly am the inheritor of a large fortune from my Jewish grandmother in Germany. And, excuse me, I'm outside in these gnats. But I'm an inheritor of, I guess, a very profitable Jewish inheritance from my grandmother. And I believe it was passed down to my mother because my mother's will miraculously disappeared after she died, and I told my older sister about it. I also found out that during this investigation that, which is still going on, that my older sister actually was forging my signature and posting that I was, pretty much signing signatures, giving my guardianship, or giving my father guardianship of me. So he can also continue laundering money from taxes, basically claiming me on his tax return. So my older sister is using my identity, forging my signatures. Supposedly they went to court, and my little sister participated in claiming that I was violent. And my father claimed I had an addiction and drug problem. My older sister claimed I had a drug problem, which she tried to do this when I was around 23 and I was in college working on my bachelor's in physics. She attempted to claim to my father this as well. And this was shortly after I stopped talking to my cousin Gary because I found out he was actually racist and he hated African Americans, which is even more ironic that my entire family is participating in it because my father is African American and my sisters are mixed like me. So the irony of being in bed with the different types of enemies just for money. Talk about the root of all evil. I also found out that I guess the FBI director, Kashyap Patel, is not happy at the fact that I just played detective when I was using the public network. And this is why transparency, not just in our internet, in our social structures, in our search engines, is so important. We need to have transparency. A lot of this information is public knowledge. A lot of the directed energy weapons that they use on people, including on me, to keep me to sleep so that they could rape me in my sleep and I would be in a hypnosis state. This is all real. This stuff has already been effective since the 1950s. If you look on ochcr.org, I believe is the website, that's all of our U.S. patents that they're displaying that talk about mind control technology, neuromonitoring, so they can hear your thoughts or get phrases from your brainwaves if they're reading them. They can locate you, location devices, in order to locate you using your own electromagnetic waves from your brain frequencies anywhere on the planet. They create behavioral conditioning devices. So for some reason, if you're angry all day and you don't know why, but you happen to move out of your office space like a foot and you're just in a better mood, you're probably having a directed energy weapon directed at you. So this federal case, for me, I initially created my organization trying to help other people that were targeted individuals like me that are being stalked by the community, harassed by the community, having these directed energy weapons put at us, having constant break-ins, having issues with employment. This is why I initially created Digital Deep Dive Corporation. I had no idea that I would end up in a federal case consisting of my own German nephew hating me and because I'm getting an inheritance and I'm black, and using that to destroy me. Now, I actually already posted a nice 45-minute video of this on YouTube, and it was intentionally destroyed. I found that my Proton Mail, my personal Proton Mail, was hacked into. It had an open session that I didn't open. So I had to close that up, and then I found that they had changed my Gmail account, which is connected to this YouTube profile, to pretty much delete that. So they deleted the video that I had put up last night. So I'm putting this one back up because I want to talk to my family. Gary, my cousin, who is orchestrating pretty much my demise, he orchestrated a car accident that I was in June 2022. I guess they were hoping that I would die in the hospital, but I survived thanks to my mother, who died in March 9th, 2022. My mother definitely was an angel, and she was watching over me, and she knew that this is a lot of corrupt, horrible, demonic stuff that people are doing to me that I was completely unaware of. So I survived, but they had created an insurance policy on me, hoping that I would die and they would get the money from it. And then, which obviously that included my older sister forging my signature to create this so that whomever in the family could get this insurance policy on me. And then he also attempted to, a couple days ago, have somebody knife me to death in my sleep. I think another attempt was to possibly kill somebody that I'm living with and then plant the evidence in my purse. But either way, I know that the house was broken into, but I had blockaded myself, so they were not able to access my room during the time that I was asleep, because this is the time that these cowards are constantly attacking me. What did I do? Oh yeah, also, so he attempted to do that. And now I am under the impression that he is attempting to try to kidnap me and take me out of the state so that I cannot pretty much defend myself or protest against this. And I believe yesterday, the person I'm living with is a participant of it, because he actually orally raped me my first week that I was there. And I found out because one night he was running to my room and I was awake, and he had no pants on, no underwear on, and his junk was just hanging out, like he was excited to try to come to my room. And I was like, what is going on? So after that, I blockaded myself in the room, and then proceeded to have multiple attempted break-ins, as well as another break-in where my ex-boyfriend actually raped me, and now I am pregnant and looking into trying to get an abortion, obviously, because my ex-boyfriend participated in my harassment. He actually was paid to monitor me, destroy my finances, which he did last year when we were struggling, and I was taking care of him because he didn't have a job. So I was taking care of this man while he was getting paid to destroy my life, thinking that he was protecting me and loving me, and found out that when I finally had a breakdown, I believe either in April, I believe it was April, or maybe even May. I think it was April that I had a breakdown because I was living with another targeted individual where her targeting is much worse than mine. I had never experienced that kind of targeting, and I won't get into it. And she's still being targeted, and she is a blind woman, in her 60s. And she's taking care of her disabled daughter, and they're both targeted very heavily. I have seen the markings on their bodies. I have seen the trauma that she has endured. She has talked extensively about it, and this is horrible. And my heart goes out to her because my targeting was much more covert compared to hers. She has a lot of directed energy weapons being focused on her. And anyway, moving back. Basically, my ex-boyfriend worked with the Phoenix Police Department he had a wire on, and he was recording me during my breakdown to make me look mentally ill. And then he claimed that I was also violent, and then he went into witness protection program to include, to support what my older sister, my little sister, and my father have been orchestrating with the false accusations that I'm mentally ill, I'm violent, I'm a drug addict, I have problems, just wow, the extent that these people are going to just for some money. And the worst part is I was always very giving. For example, when I first moved to Arizona, I had a wonderful maintenance job. I really, really liked that job. And my first paycheck, I got $800. I gave it to my little sister because I didn't want her to be on the street with my nephew who's 11 years old. So I maintained staying on the street and being homeless and having struggles with food and sleep. I mean, God, it's hot out here to sleep in a car in Arizona, in Phoenix specifically. And I did that for my little sister and my nephew. And to find out now that she participated in lying under oath about me being violent, etc., is really sick. And it's really disturbing that this is what my family has done for some money. Especially because, like I said, I just gave money when I was homeless and broke. Why would they think that I wouldn't give them any money when I got my inheritance? That's what fascinates me. Oh, and then my brother, who disowned the family years ago, over a decade ago, before my mom died, which broke her heart, now came back in because he wants part of the money too. And he, along with the rest of my family, is claiming that they disowned me. How ironic. Well, if you disowned me, why are you worried about my money? Not just that, I guess a church has been also participating, and I believe it's an apostle church, especially right now because I'm in Phoenix. There's an apostolic church in Phoenix and in Tucson that is participating in satanic rituals with sacrifices of animals. And I think they actually sacrificed my 2 cats that I left with my father to perform these kinds of horrible rituals, claiming to try to hex me, this is insanity. Try to hex me, do death spells, do beauty spells, do sex spells, do all sorts of things to make me look like a prostitute, to make me look unsavory, all sorts of things. And I guess it didn't work. Sorry, I guess your magic doesn't work. So, there's a federal court case about my family trying to kill me for an inheritance from my Jewish grandmother. And now that I am the CEO and founder of Digital Deep Dive Corporation, they cannot deny the fact that I am here now and I am speaking out. And I have to speak out about my situation because of the fact that this is exactly what my organization is about. This is sick. This is corruption on beyond the highest level. You even have the FBI director who just got put in January participating in this. Where is all this funding coming from for our governments? How come they don't mind taking pay cuts and everything? Because they are orchestrating under the radar, destroying people's inheritance. I wonder how many other people that are targeted on that terrorist screening database that Anna Toledo brought into light in 2023, and she's still fighting for all of us in targeted justice. How many of those people, initially there were 2 million people on the terrorist screening database as of December last year. And then as of March this year, there's only 280,000 now. Now, out of those 280,000 people on that terrorist screening database, me still being on there included as a woman named Maria Robles, who I am not, how many of those people have their inheritance being targeted? And that's why they're trying to kill them. Do you know how many targeted individuals have been killed for speaking out, have been killed for trying to go to their law enforcement and say, hey, look what's going on with me, have been coerced, have been community doxxed, have been conspired to be kidnapped and killed, taken overseas and just disappeared? And this is exactly why I created this company, because of this corruption. So you know what? I'm glad that I can have a testimony about it so that people understand that this is exactly what I'm trying to fight against. So if you are interested in learning more about all the ugly stuff, not just that our government is doing, but our local law enforcement, our public safety, even psychiatrists are involved, medical doctors are involved, any state official, even the DMV, it's so sick, they're all involved. And they signed 9 non-disclosure agreements so that they could not tell you, even if you said, hey, am I under investigation? Are you guys following me for some reason? Oh, no, we're not. They can't they can't claim it, because then they would be legally bound to get sued. So again, if you want to know more about pretty much corruption, I will be posting a lot more. They have destroyed my employment, so today I don't even have any gas or food money to go to work. I'm hoping that I can get some money from some friends that are part of my activist organization, but they are intentionally messing up my PayPal account that I just created, my Cash App that I just created. I can't even I can't even recover my iCloud so that I can download these apps so that I can create them. This is how much they have tried to destroy my life. And I am definitely going to fight. I'm definitely going to continue fighting. I do have a GoFundMe that is the same picture. It's about dangers in nanotechnology, if you want to donate there. I also have like a butter.com, givebutter.com fundraiser. Right now I can't access it because, again, they had hacked my personal email account, which is my recovery to my business email account, and then they locked me out of my business email account, and then they accessed my second business account so that they could destroy information, because now it's encrypted because it was on Proton Mail. Whoo, there's a bug that really wanted to hit me. But yeah, they are trying really hard. So if anybody definitely wants transparency in our future for our children so that they're not going to end up having wearables by 2030 where they can be monitored, their brainwaves can be monitored, and pretty much we'll be living in the book 1984 where they can read our thoughts and see if we want to do a negative thing and, get rid of us before then. We deserve our privacy. We deserve our freedom of minds. The crime rate has decreased so much that the corruption is now in our own legal and law enforcement systems for money. Just for money. We're vilifying people that do drugs, the war on drugs, because of money. We're vilifying homeless people so we can use them as actual human subjects to experiment on for weapons of mass destruction of the mind, of the body, and so much more. And they're doing this for money. They're killing their own citizens. And this is not just the United States. This is global. So please, if you really genuinely care about the human race and about human evolution and our civil rights to actually be enforced, please subscribe, and please also participate in donations. I do need them so that I can continue making the website, continue pushing, so that not just the United States, but if I can go global, the whole world will get justice for all of this.